This time on Away Team Ghost Investigations.
Oh! Flashlight? Who's got the flashlight?
If you gave me $1,000 to go down that basement, I wouldn't.
Our latest member to the away team, Joe Bloomfield, told us about a haunted place, a location known as the Casarin property. The Casarin family over 50 years ago moved to Milton, Ontario at the base of the escarpment, where they established a homestead where over 3 generations have grown up. And in those past 50 years, there have been quite a few ghost stories. So the away team decided we were going to check that out.
My grandfather, after he passed away, my mother had put his wicker chair in my room, and he was sitting in the chair. I had woke up and he was sitting in the chair, and I saw him. And I screamed for my mother, and she told me that there was nothing there, and then he was there. There was no question, he was there. Wow. And I actually made her take the chair out of my room because he was that vivid. Also in this house, you'll be home alone sitting, and you'll hear footsteps.
Yeah, upstairs mainly.
But just the sense of being watched, the sense of knowing something's there, or turning around thinking that something is there, getting your attention that quickly. Several areas of the property. Up in the top corner there, ever since I was little, as soon as I walk up to that area, my heart races. Like, I just instantly get this anxiety feeling that it's not that I'm going to be hurt, but it's not a good place. Like, something horrible, horrific has happened here.
I hear a girl's voice calling me, saying how it's almost like maybe somebody was raped or hurt or back there. But there's something here.
I'm in the bathroom, and all of a sudden I heard this crash. And I thought, well, maybe it's the cat jumping on the shelf or something. And I came out and I have a shelf full of pictures. And Leanne's photo was facing all of the pictures, and all of the other pictures were lying face down. And that's what had crashed, was all these pictures.
Well, I've seen like a person, like a big white figure, and it takes out all the pins and needles, and then it started coming towards me, and I shut my eyes and opened them again, and it was gone. Because it kind of scared me, but I'm not scared of it anymore.
And the girls just said to me, my God, I'm never coming to your house, you know, and things like that. I guess people just don't understand. It's not like something happens every time you walk out here. It's not like somebody's tapping on your shoulder and you're spinning around, you know, but you do get strange responses.
Clairvoyant picked up on this area specifically being something here, a spirit of a little girl who's been injured or hurt or has been wronged in some way. It happened here or in this general area. In this room over here, it's just a big junk junk pile, but in the big, the end room is a big room and it's full of insulation on the floor. So if we go in there and try to get some digital photographs, I think we're gonna get a lot of orbs. So that might be one room just to avoid, or even do some experiments to say, hey, look, orb is dust, not spirits. So. I think it's just power suggestion, but being up on the hill where we are right now, I do feel a little creepy. Mm-hmm. And the old house being torn down again, power suggestion. It looks like a creepy building, so I automatically feel a little freaked out around there. Right. I think the big thing we got to be concerned about is all these voices we're hearing. Like there is a big playground, there's a beach, there's a lake down there, and it is echoing off the back of the hills. I keep on hearing voices.
Yeah, there's noises popping up here and there.
I think we have to rule that out. We have to rule it out. It's not going to be something that we can count on as being evidence of anything.
Right. Right now, I'm hearing white noises in this tub in here. I think there's probably an animal. But I'm not gonna lie, it creeped me right the out. I'm like...
So what was it?
I don't know. My guess is that some sort of mouse or an animal's in behind some of the like rubble, but I could hear it like several times. I went, don't, like I could feel it, I could hear it.
Can you show me where that is?
Yeah. I recorded. I'm like, I'm just a little freaked out at the moment, but it. That pile right there.
Right here.
Yeah, in there. Oh, right here.
Right here. Is there anybody in here? If there's somebody in here, make a sound so we know you're here. Are you the one that bumped the pile of junk over here? Alright. Well, we'll definitely check this out at night.
I was just standing here waiting for you guys, and I saw, like, you can see through the building and the green on the other side, and I was just, like, standing here and looking at it, and then I just saw, like, a gray, hazy shadow just go really quick. Like, it could have been me blinking, but I don't think so, because I didn't blink.
Where were you thinking?
Like, looking straight through there. See that hole? See that hole right there, through there? I was just looking. And it wasn't even that I saw someone, it's just that I couldn't see the green. I could see the green through the grayish. I can't explain it. It was just like a...
Something blocked the vision in that?
Yeah, like, it was as if something moved past the doorway.
When was this?
When you guys were up in the creepy spot. What, 5 to 6 minutes ago?
All right, just really quickly, your feeling. Amanda thought she saw something go past the house. What's your thoughts, feelings on that?
Knowing Amanda, she has many times seen things. Like, she'll wake up at night and think that something's in the room. So I think she's at a certain level. I think she's a little bit psychic, if you want to say that. Like, she has seen things before. So I believe her. I believe that she thinks she saw something block the view through the house. Myself, I've never seen anything, so. But no, I believe her. The bait room is something that the away team has devised to test a number of theories. During the day investigation, we try to find one area that seems to have the most stories of paranormal activity. Then, during the night investigation, one member of the away team gets chosen to sit in the bait room and act as bait. He tries to communicate with the spirits, and hopefully a spirit will communicate with them and we can capture them on our electronic devices. During the day investigation, we thought we found a perfect spot for the bait. Jeff and Brad walking back to the cellar entrance. Oh, this is it right here. That is creepy. cellar, I see a chair. Just a bunch of miscellaneous junk in there. Preliminary investigation is done to get a base idea of the property and what we might be facing. We return in October with all of our equipment to perform the main part of the investigation. This whole rain thing really is not helping. It makes it outside. Hook up this wireless camera in here somewhere. So, since this building's coming down, I'm sure they don't mind us drilling a few screws into the wood.
Michelle, the property owner, told us about this village that existed just behind the house on a long road back on the hill. Now, the road has since become overrun with vegetation and the buildings have become ruined because it's been over 50 years since anyone's lived there. We decided it would be an excellent chance to check it out and possibly see some of the former residents of the town.
So the settlement's somewhere around
Well, this
here.
is the road. Maybe we should have followed it up that way.
That way?
Alright, let's the road came from down there.
And they seemed to indicate it was that way.
Yeah. I think we're on the road.
Let's try it.
We had spent a good 45 minutes in the woods looking for this abandoned town and road. We went up and down the escarpment and had no luck finding the place. And with daylight waning, we decided it was probably a good time to head out of the woods and start the nighttime investigation up.
The away team's nerves were really put on end right before the night investigation when something very creepy happened.
The dogs right now barking. Yeah.
Dogs barked, they were at the house, and they ran right up to that hill.
Now that's the hill that we've been told.
Anything in the immediate area here now, I feel something off to the left, off the nose of the boat, between the nose of the boat and that cluster of trees over there. There's somebody over there, something over there, and it's not that it's bad, but it's not perfectly great energy. So I get a feeling they're back in the trees looking this way, but they're afraid to come close to me. So that's what I feel over there now. So there's somebody watching me from a distance.
For this part of the investigation, only Brad, Amanda, and myself were able to attend. We also brought along Ken, a clairvoyant who felt he could provide some insights on the spiritual world surrounding the property. The thing that makes me the most nervous is that possibility that the son lives here.
Right.
Him and his friends possibly know we're out here, play a little trick. Or, you know, the story we heard a few minutes ago, or a little while ago, that there was a guy staying out here, so it's not secluded. Eerie.
Oh, that's just a leaf moving. Yeah, well, why is it moving?
It's windy.
It's windy, but nothing else is moving.
If there's somebody up here, can you make another sound?
Oh!
Flashlight? Who's got the flashlight?
I don't have a flashlight.
Something just fell straight down. We have no idea what that sound was. Sure, it might have been something like a limb falling in the woods, but it just seems kind of odd that we are up at the top of the hill where the clairvoyant has said he's seen numerous spirits. We were taking digital photographs, and we even asked the spirits to make their presence known. So who knows? It might have been a spirit trying to communicate to us.
I find that interesting, Jeff, because you are a skeptic, that this place like really just makes you jumpy.
What makes me more jumpy is the fact of like hearing the story that some guy was camped out here for like a week or two. The fact that it's the woods, so there are animals around.
Yeah.
I mean, when I heard the noise a month ago or whatever in that corner, like I knew it was a cat or something like that, but it's just the fact that it's a cat.
Floor. If we went in there, stirred up all the fiberglass, any photograph we take is just going to be littered with orbs. And we don't need to do that.
And by orbs, we mean dust.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. They'd be just orbs of dust.
The property actually has 4 locations. The house the family currently lives in, the old house which has fallen down and dilapidated, the building with the garage, and finally the apartment. Now we did the photos within the apartment, and then we decided to go around to the back to do some EVP and some photo work, when some interesting things started to happen.
How about turn the camera on?
It is on. Oh, your camera.
Change the batteries. I just did. It just changed the batteries. There we go. Nuh-uh. This camera's weird.
The lighthouse. What do you mean change the... What's going on? What's going on?
I just put new batteries in. Like new batteries as in I've taken the packaging off and put the batteries in. And the camera's saying that it's gone. Like, the batteries have been drained. No, it won't.
It won't take it?
Won't take any pictures.
Okay.
I got another.
Here, I got my camera right here.
Well, no, I got another set of batteries. I want this to work. Okay, I just put brand new batteries in this. We just had the problem with the battery. Camera saying no batteries. Okay, now it appears to be working. Let's take a photograph. Oh, okay, there's something wrong with this camera. It keeps on zapping the batteries. So
It already says zero batteries?
The images.
The apartment.
Change the batteries.
We're walking along the back side of the apartment. Brad's having problems with the cam. Do you think it's camera malfunction?
Yeah, I think there's something going on with this camera.
And why are you doing that? I thought you guys liked Jeff. Actually, why I'm asking the question is because I've never liked the cellar. I've never, remember the first time I would never go down that cellar. So I have a funny feeling about the cellar. So I would never go down there at the best of times. And I'm wondering why we're going to stick a person down there in a chair by himself and put a camera on him. And when I don't like the basement. And right now, if you gave me $1,000 to go down that basement, I wouldn't. I've been in haunted buildings where demonics have been, and I've seen people go to a room and like you couldn't. There was even with a bulldozer, you couldn't push them in that room. I just don't like the energy down there, and I don't like the energy around there.
Okay. Can you hold this?
Yeah.
Just while I go in. Oh. I had a lot of build up to this one. This place looked a lot more creepier than doing the bait room at the Roseberry place. Roseberry place, Brad was just basically through the door. We thought for sure I thought Joe, the owner of the house, would come through, but he didn't come through, and so I wasn't worried. This one, there was a lot of build up to it. But now that I'm actually sitting here, I'm cold. I know I'm on tape. That could go at any time, true. I thought I was going to need the flashlight on. We have our voice recorder. Okay, you hear what sounds like soft mumbling. I would say Amanda. I feel like they're behind the house. Are you guys coming around? Yeah, I think we can call this it. Bedroom.
Okay, so to begin with, we got our evidence review. Go over all the incidents that have happened that we may not be able to explain, and hopefully we can figure out what here may be haunted or not at the Casarin property. So our first example is Amanda saw a gray figure on the hill. So Amanda, can you explain that?
I was standing like on the hill waiting, looking at the house, and all of a sudden I saw through an open doorway, which was all green behind it. There was leaves and stuff behind. I saw like a gray misty figure go across the doorway because it was bright, so you would have seen a difference in the light. So I really can't explain what it was.
But your gut feeling says that it was...
I felt that it was something moving across the doorway, like somebody was going across. You could see through it like a gray mist. It wasn't a real person. It wasn't a solid figure.
Okay. Next one. Jeff hears sound in the garage. So when I was investigating the garage, I heard a big bang. My feeling on this is that it was just an animal inside. We didn't get any voice recorder evidence, anything else. It just startled me and scared me. I think that's the bottom line for it. Moving on, Jeff hears voice in the bait room. So I heard what I thought was Amanda's voice just outside the bait room. Amanda, did you ever come near the bait room when I was in it?
Not at all. I was at least 20 feet away.
Okay.
Maybe 30 feet away the whole time.
Right. And were you alone?
I was with Ken the entire time.
Right. And the only other person it could be voice-wise would be Brad.
Yeah. Again, I was about 15 feet away, and I wasn't talking. I didn't hear Ken or Amanda talking, so I don't know what you heard. The only thing I can say as far as other explanations is the sound from the 401. The transport trucks are constantly going up and down. You might have heard the whining of the 18-wheeler going down the highway. But nobody else heard it, so it's just a personal experience.
Yeah.
And I mean, other than that, I don't. Do I really think it was something? I don't know. I just thought I heard Amanda. The next thing on our list is dogs barking at the hill. All of a sudden, dogs went running up to the hill, barking. They went crazy. Okay. The only thing I can think of is Michelle had mentioned that about a couple weeks beforehand there had been a guy living out in the woods, and it's the woods. There's animals. Dogs get freaked out. That's all. That's my thinking.
Yeah. Now, on the other hand, on the believers' side of things, Michelle said that her dogs are very aware of the paranormal, that she feels those dogs know when there's something in the house, something on the property. It could be an indication that there was something roaming around there. But as far as like the scientific side of things, who knows? They could have seen a squirrel. We don't see half the things or smell half the things that animals do, so we can't. It's interesting that it happened, but we can't really say it's proof of anything. The next interesting thing that happened to us was the battery drain on the camera. We went to the back side of the apartment and we were taking pictures with the digital camera. It seemed after a couple shots that the batteries died on the camera. I got one shot off, camera died again. So I thought, okay, just a fluke. I had another package of batteries. And when I say a new set of batteries, I mean they were in the packaging, brand new batteries. I put them in, they didn't work. I went through 3 sets of batteries and they all failed. Now, scientific side of things, when the temperature gets cold, batteries are known to fail, to lose their charge, and it was quite cold. It was probably 1-2 degrees, maybe even freezing. However, many mediums and spiritualists will say that when a spirit's trying to manifest itself, it will sap energy from any sort of power source. So there's the 2 sides of things. I don't know what it was. My own personal beliefs, I'm going to go for the scientific thing and say it was just the cold weather. And our last point is the noise up on the hill. Jeff, Amanda, and myself were on the top of the hill. We were taking lots of digital photographs. We tried some EVP work, asking the spirits to make their presence known, and we hear the sound in the woods of something smashing into the ground.
I got especially startled because, again, I kept on thinking of this guy that had been out in the woods. The dogs had just earlier been up there to that spot, so I was definitely uncomfortable. I don't know. Couldn't see anything.
I was pretty sure there was a walnut tree growing at the top of the hill. So it could have been a walnut falling. It's the woods. There are dead branches and limbs everywhere. It was cold and windy, so it could have been a branch falling. Now the first one happened just after we went up to the hill, got scared by the sound. We went down to get some more equipment to further investigate what the sound was. We went back up to do it. Now I was reviewing the evidence and came across this really impressive piece. But I do have the voice recorder, so. So yeah, at first it looked like we had caught an orb moving through the woods, but it turns out it was the infrared illuminator from the night vision scope.
Like I should see if there's eyes.
Okay.
I would see eyes, would I not?
Yeah, because you've got the infrared illuminator on now, which really helps.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I thought I had something, but you know what?
You just saw it right there. You could see it where Jeff was pointing the scope. You could see it clearly illuminating a well-defined circle.
Yeah.
The next thing we found was this really good picture of a mist on our digital camera. And there's a picture that was captured.
So it wasn't even misty. In the video footage, there's no mist, but in the picture, there's no.
Yeah, we clearly caught something on the digital camera. I don't know what you guys think of it.
Except it looks like there's a lot of debris and
That's all
junk.
the junk inside
Is
the
it just
place. The whole place is full of just lots of
because
stuff.
if you're walking around there, if there's any sand or any dust, it just kicks right out.
The place was extremely dirty. There was dust and stuff everywhere.
In a really dirty environment, it's
Yeah.
mists are unreliable.
It's practically outside, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
you can see right through all the. There's no windows really,
Exactly.
so it's.
Oh, okay,
it's
so it's
really
not like
open.
inside.
It's inside, but it's
basically-
outside. It's
Yeah.
kind of like a
It's
torn
open
down
to,
building.
open to the atmosphere.
Yeah.
When I took that picture, I had my flashlight underneath my camera. That being said, can we even say that this picture is proof of anything? Because yes, it was dusty. We could have kicked some dust up. Plus, there's my flashlight flickering in the picture. It very well could have caught something from the. Jeff and I were walking into the last part of the room in the old apartment, and reviewing the evidence, we caught what sounds like a voice. So I'm gonna play it for you now.
A little bit. Well, there's another room.
Now here it is again at 150% volume. Maybe you'll hear it a little bit better.
A little bit.
Well, the first thing I heard was Jeff's voice,
That's right.
mumbling. I couldn't understand
Yeah.
what it was, and then just a high pitched "shut up."
Is that what you heard, Rick?
Well, when you think about it, and someone like just said "shut up," so now I'm thinking, okay,
Yeah.
it sounded like that.
Exactly.
But the fact that in the video itself, you guys are moving around, it's an old building. There's always going to be creaks and groans and stuff, and especially since you amplified it to 150% volume, you're really blowing a lot of things out of proportion. That I'm skeptical to believe that it's a
Yeah.
EVP, just because you're not in a controlled environment
Yeah.
and you are moving around.
A little bit. A little bit.
I thought at first that was my voice saying "shut up." However, I don't think I would tell Jeff to shut up. I would do shh or just say something.
I think my gut feeling is that it's you talking. That's what I think it is. It sounds like "shut up." I don't think you said "shut up." I think we just can't identify what it is you're actually saying. So I don't think there's any reason to think that it's anything but you talking.
Too many variables
Too many?
to really say. You need to do a little bit more controlled environment if you want to pick up. I have to say it is a compelling piece of evidence because we're not able to explain it, and it's very distinct and it does sound like something, but there's too many things that we can discount
That's right.
to discount it.
And it was caught on the video camera, not the digital voice recorder, so it wasn't even we're trying to get an EVP. It just kind of popped in there. I'm gonna say nothing. Just it was probably me. So that wraps it up. That's the end of the evidence. Good investigation.
So basically, from all this, we have no proof of any ghosts. Nothing we have is conclusive to say that there is a ghost. Am I right?
I would say so.
See, but you gotta remember that being there for just, I don't know how long you were there, 6 hours or so, isn't the same as actually being there on a day-to-day, 7 days a week, 24 hours type thing. Things will happen at different times, and ghosts will respond differently.
That's really true. And if you think about it, the things that they usually see are their family. So family members would probably respond better to family members than to some strangers coming in to just look around. And
so just because you didn't capture anything in the 6 hours you were there doesn't mean it's not haunted, because it very well could be.
yeah.
It was a very interesting property, had lots of history. It definitely had a feeling to it. If I was any more sensitive to the matter, I would say, yeah, there was something living there, residing there. But the scientific side of me says interesting, but to me, not haunted.
As I like to say, I'm in a stranger's basement. No lights. It's after midnight. People I don't know. Could you do this? Could you sit in the bait room? They'll save,
Yeah.
because they get a big screen.
Actually, I got a really weird photo there.
A little blade. Well, there's another room. A little blade. A little blade. A little blade.
Around, but I do have the voice recorder, so.
Like I should see if there's eyes.
Okay.
I would see eyes, would I not?
Yeah, because you've got the infrared illuminator on now, which really helps. And how long, or when did you first start noticing that stuff was a little different around here?
My pillow.
Seeing
Getting
anything?
bugs.
I'm getting a bug here. Good bug. Oh, Jeff, you friggin' screwed.
Well, because I was looking. I went to go look at. I'm looking at that. Right? I've seen that. And that's
How long, or when did you first start?
everyone can still see you. If you can take photos, and I'll use that to scan around.
How long, or when did you first start?
I could ever do a bait room.
It's got a couple double A's.
Like even like well.
I'm getting the Royal Feel Up by Brad and Jess.
I have another flashlight, or even do some experiments to say, hey, look, orb is dust, not spirits. So.
We're recording.
Okay, so grab the Wi-Fi camera.
Everyone can still see you.
It's still
How long, or when did you first start?
I could ever do a bait room.
It's got a couple double A's.
Like even like well.
So yeah, I just Okay, so shall we go around and do that? Let's go. Another thing I want to do is set up the motion sensor.
No.
When did you buy a motion sensor?
Long time ago, before I even knew Amanda McCrae.